Looking dapper.
Child Bastard. Stone Wolf is an apprentice miner. Well done, Stone Wolf. I'm fairly certain you've got everything. So I think you're going to be going down and being a groundskeeper as well. Could be wrong about that though, so I'm just going to check. Where are you, Stone Wolf? Where is Stone Wolf? No, that is not Stone Wolf. Stone Wolf. Right. Apprentice Architect. Gopher, Apprentice Architect. Okay. +2 to strength, +2 to construction, +2 to digging. Nice. Very nice indeed, actually. Yeah, I think a sink would actually help down here. That's a very good point. It was something I had considered briefly, but no, I think you've got a brilliant point there. Right, so we want plumbing from here up and in. And then just gonna go and connect up down there. And it's not exactly pretty, but it'll do. There we go. On priority. They're all on priority 7, so they should get done reasonably fast. With that being said, we actually need these to be done at a much higher priority now. So please get them done. Actually quite badly need that done now because this is below the point that we can reach it. I mean, we've got... Oh, sorry, my stomach is grumbling. I haven't eaten in a while. I've got 5.4 tons of algae. How about edible? Pickled meal, actually not too bad going there. Not too bad going. If we can get this finished, then we're not going to have much problem with water for a long time. Well then, Stonewolf. Donk. You got a little bit cold there. Sorry about that. We have not got a food shortage. Stop lying to me. There we are. Once that's done, bonk. We should start seeing... Yeah, there we go. That should fill that up nice and quickly. Alright, disconnect that. Deconstruct, rather. And we are going to deconstruct this one of the two. Actually, no, don't do that. Cancel deconstruct. Deconstruct this one because that one is the closest to being to needing a upgrade. Let's have a look at our power setup right now. You know what? I'm going to say disconnect this, and we'll instead hook it up to this network, since that one has a little bit less that it needs to worry about. There we go. That looks much better. I had the clean and polluted water on different sides, but oh well. I do not. Let's get that one in there. Now that one's set up on an 8. This is set up on a 7. No, let's set that one on a 7 as well. There we go. My algae oxidizer will be turned back on now. Generally speaking, I would say that this place is looking quite nice. Right, with that then, I'm going to say that we want to continue my insulated tiles. We're actually just going to cut straight through that. All the way up there. I don't know, a little bit of chlorine I think we could manage. I don't know. I'm not sure that would be very wise. Not sure that would be very wise. Let's see. Hey Aavak, I'm never really on Twitch to see that you're streaming. Glad to see you on again. Hey Dark Horde Gaming, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Well, Aavak, thanks for the stream. And take care, Dapplings. Take care, Leon. Thanks for joining us. You're about to sleep on your chair. So as much as I wanted to watch till the end, I'll be going. Oh, I'm sorry, mate. I do sometimes stream for a long time, don't I? Right, time for us to dig all of this out so that we can access it and make this a little better overall. I think we'll draw that out, the whole room all the way out. There we go. There we are. That should help out a bit. What's the oxygen looking like? It's looking pretty fancy, actually. I'd really like it if you could just get that sorted for me, though. Oh, okay. Delivering quite a lot of water there. How much water have we got down here? 517 kilos. Wow. If we had the power, we could run a water tapidizer down here to kill off the germs, but that's a lot of power to run something like that. I think we're okay with it as is. Morb is having a happy time. Where's the power going? Power's generally doing alright. Plenty of meal lice, I imagine. And generally, things aren't going too badly. I mean, well, we're not getting the meal lice done right now, unfortunately, but we hopefully will be seeing that in the reasonably near future. What are you gathering? Some more bacillite, possibly. Okay, time to get that on a 9 and this on a 9, just so that we can get them done. There we go. Right, very nicely done. Right, we need pipes. So, water all the way up and in. And this will be our dirty water pipe. Straight out and down. I'm going to have that on... Well, actually it is on an 8. Good. There we go. And I want that in that direction. Okay, this should now work a little bit better. Except you didn't do anything. What? Has that not received water yet? Oh, the water probably hadn't reached it yet. So it didn't trigger yet. Oh, that's fine. There we go. Should start seeing people using this very soon. And we should see them use this now when they leave. No! Really? Why is it not working then? Is it perhaps because there's already so many germs in there? Is it perhaps because of that, I wonder? Because they really should be using this. It would be lovely if you could colour the pipes, yeah. And yeah, you can totally assign individual toilets. Hey, Prior, thanks for joining us. Hi, I am a llama. Good day, everyone. Super excited to see Aavak playing Oxygen Not Included. Well, I'm glad. This run will be going up on YouTube. I'm a little bit concerned that people are not stopping there. Why? Does it need power? If I hooked it up the wrong way. That's input. That's output. Oh, they might not use it if they have no surface germs. Okay. Right, that is possible. You have no surface germs. That is reasonable. It could quite easily be the case that they don't do that and they have no surface germs. Well, the test would be to remove this and then try that out. So, deconstructed as a 9-week. Gonna want this replaced really bloody quickly. All of that is gonna have to be a 9 because I don't want this to not be active for any particular length of time. Try and get this plumbed in as soon as is possible. Yeah, it looks like they don't actually use that if they've got no surface germs. Okay, no, that's pretty cool. Thank you very much for that. Quickly. There we go. You should have somewhere that you can use as you leave. There we go. Right, thank you very much for... Oh, no. No, don't want that disinfected. There is no point. Likewise. Good. And here. Disable disinfect. There's no point. It would not save us any time, I assure you. Right, I would like one of those down here. Now that we've got that, let's deconstruct you and replace it with a modern toilet. Oh, this is fantastic. Took us a while to get to this stage, but we finally got here. This place is starting to fill up with a nice healthy amount of germ-infested water. Right, copy settings down to there. And at this point, I'm going to say we no longer need this. I'm going to let it finish working through the polluted dirt that's in it, I guess. In fact, deconstruct it. Actually, yeah, deconstruct this one as well. It's at this point that we are going to build a shower. Or maybe even two. Or maybe just one. I don't know. We could get away with just one, I think. Sure, why not? And then let's get some nice items in here to make this place a little bit nicer for everyone. Get some nice pictures on either side, or maybe just one and a plant. Let's get some pictures either side. I think that'll do. There we go. People are super happy. That is fantastic. Let's get this entire room swept up. Okay. There we are. Well, we've now got a complete grey water recycling area, which is going to be super awesome for us. We've got plenty of power coming through over here, which also super awesome. Got a couple of dedicated little systems. I mean, that one does run out of power at night, but honestly, most of these places don't matter if they run out of power at night, since no one's up to make use of them. So it's fine. And oxygen-wise, we're actually doing alright. Arrow has mastered the apprentice architect job. Apple Fumble has mastered groundskeeper, and Weird Alchemist has mastered research assistant job. Well done. Apple Fumble. Guess Apple Fumble could take that on next, unless Apple Fumble has done all of them. I think Apple Fumble may have. No, you haven't. Perfect. Right, Weird Alchemist then. What do I want for you? What's your strength at? Not actually sure if you have done this one. I think you possibly have. No, you haven't. Wow, okay. Another person who isn't a particularly good gopher. Arrow. Oh, you've already done that. What can I get you to do? General Engineer. Might not be too bad. I can have you go and do a groundskeeping job. There we are. We're just moving people through very slowly. Okay, now then, with that in mind, we could look into getting a little area set up for the mobs, I'm thinking. Also, let's actually have a look at research. Let's go for... at the very least, let's get to natural gas generation. Because we have got the farm station. How many tiles is this? That's 84 tiles. 96 is the limit. 84. 84. We could totally make these into greenhouses. Crops grown within a greenhouse can be tended by farmers to increase their growth speed. There's certainly something to be said about that. I think we might go for it, actually. But I'm going to need someone to have the farming skill before we do that. There's no point in doing it prior to that. What's the temperature like? Still quite high over here, actually. It's reasonably high down here, but it's not awful. I could set up some sort of ventilation. I'm currently researching towards that end, but if I looked instead for... where are we? The thermal regulator. I could just cool down the base a little bit. That might be worth doing. Not right now, though. We're not doing terrible in general, though. Everything seems to be okay in here. We got a little bit to sweep up, but that's all. Over here, things should also be okay. Now, this place is awful, but we'll see. Right. I'll just leave people to doing all of these crazy jobs. This is going great. What are the germs like at this point? A lot. 2 million germs. An awful lot. That is a slime lung source, but very little polluted oxygen in there. You're actually a source of slime lung. Wow, we've got a couple of slime lung sources now. Unfortunately, due to that bloody mob. We're going to want to try and get that into a specific location. Possibly somewhere down here. Awkward, but I think we can manage it. With the setup as it is, I think we're generally fairly good. Research is already complete, my lord. Oh, that's because, yeah, we were going through this area. We've got better batteries now that store significantly more power, but lose the power quite quickly as well. Currently, we've got the tiny batteries which can store 10 kilojoules and lose 1 kilojoule a cycle. And then the large batteries that store 40 kilojoules will then lose 2 kilojoules per cycle. So actually, this battery is generally a better battery. Let's go ahead and deconstruct these. And deconstruct these two. And deconstruct these two. Get those done quickly if we can. Cassandra has finished the gopher job. Well done, Cassandra. You've already got the digger job. Right. Oh, that's true. I still need a compost pile because of the that. Is there nothing else I can do with polluted dirt? Is there no other function that it serves? Because I can totally take care of that sure, but you can throw polluted dirt at people, I suppose. Alright, let's get rid of you. Let's deconstruct this. We'll move that across a little bit. I always find it useful getting research done to do a self-powered electrolyzer ASAP. Produces a lot of oxygen if built right. Needs a good supply of water though. We're also going to be deconstructing you and moving this across. Actually, the loo looks quite nice. People seem to like it. I'm back. Right, I'm going to want this, and I'm going to want it right here. And the same over here. And the same up here. Oh yeah. There we are. Where are you? Deconstruct. We'll move all of that across and then build a compost pile here. There we go. Clear as I must be in the perfect time zone for Aavak stream. Still only 11 PM here. Oh, it's coming up to 6 AM for me. Take care, under Alamatrix. Oh god, there's yellow and orange. The sun is coming up. Are you happy now? Yeah, you're actually reasonably happy. Awesome. Nice bathroom. Excellent. There we go. We'll have that one as a 7. Have that one as a 7 as well. Have that one as a 7 too. I think that should be good enough. Yep, everything seems alright. I still have no idea what the priority on the doors means, but I'm going to set all the doors to 2. There we go. Legitimately, I have no idea what the priorities on the doors mean. We'll get that set up as 7 as well. You. And I think that's about all we need to do in terms of priorities for now. I see you have a giant one-eyed toilet monster in your loo, Aavak. Yes, it crept out of someone. Well, actually, it crept out of the loo because I didn't deal with it fast enough. But I like to imagine it crept out of someone. Door priorities for toggle, lock, and lock. Thank you very much, Fegas. Oh, sorry, LMC. You probably did mention actually, and I just completely missed it. My bad. What on earth is that? Why is there water down there? Clean water at the bottom of a lake. Oh, we're now moving on to fossil fuels. Excellent. Insufficient oxygen generation. That's not good. That's decidedly ungood. Who knew? No one. We could possibly do with an extra person then. That is distinctly possible. I think we'll hold off for now, though. Up to Cycle 52. I'm actually pretty happy with that. Stress is amazing. Didn't cook as much as they ate this time now. And they are requiring much more oxygen now than we used to produce. Worrisome. Somewhat worrisome. How are we doing for algae? Getting low on algae, actually. Alright, maybe time for us to start looking at alternatives, such as... Well, there's algae over here. I haven't seen any geysers of any kind, which is kind of annoying. Still not seeing anything. Very lonely. Okay. Well. What did you... We did alchemist. Tinkering is increased. Well done. And Leafin is mastered groundskeeper. And Punyo is mastered research assistant job. Well done. Leafin has actually got a lot of stuff done now. I think Leafin is going to learn to do that. And Punyo, I'm going to learn to be a gopher. Okay, well, I am somewhat concerned. Because I don't want Slime Lung to get into this colony. The moment it does, things are going to get rough for us. What I can do, however, and what I may need to do... That's one thing that we could use. Let's set up a medical area. Ooh. We're going to need a toilet and... no, we're going to need a separate area for this. But we're starting to run low on space. I mean, I guess I could build it down here, but it's kind of way out of the way. Still, it's what we need, so... Alright. Let's get this in place. Right, so, for the Medbay, we want medical bed, toilet, mess table. Now we've got all of these things. We don't actually even have a mess hall yet. That's another thing I can do. So first, I would like a sink heading into and out of the med bay. Next, I would like two medical beds. I would like a ladder going down onto the next floor. That would be the normal area. I could make this a much bigger area. I guess that is definitely an option, but I'd rather not, if I'm perfectly honest. Have a lavatory right at the end of the room. Because they're probably going to hunger at the same speed. Now we do have one of these Jeffrey tubes there, so technically we don't strictly need another one, but we could just have we have the Jeffrey's tube over there, so I don't know. Also, this would cut well deep into that area. I could just make the area only capable of housing one person, but that's risky. That's super risky. Something like that would work, I think. Yeah, I think we can make that work. It's a little bit tight for what I would like, but at least it gives us... Oh, damn it, I'm making it all out of granite, aren't I? At least that gives us a decent amount of room for people. Though, that being said, I don't actually want a way out on this side. I think I would rather the Medbay be isolated to just this direction. And then we can fill it with various things that'll make it look a little bit nicer. Though, that's kind of a pain in the bum. Actually, I think we can have the liquid bridge, can't we? So, oops. R does not rotate. R, in fact, brings up research. O to rotate. So one there. One here. I think one... Well, actually, we could just run it all the way up if we really want to, but I think what I'll do is I'll have... yeah, actually, that does seem to make sense. So, like so. Across. There we are. That should hook everything up the way we need it to hook up. Excellent. Right, let's go ahead and dig this area out then. Because we are now at the point where we actually do need access to the rest of the map. And slime lung and things like that are going to start being nasty. I would like the door not to be a regular door. I would like it to be a manual airlock. And at this point, I'm starting to feel that much more of my base needs to be a manual airlock. This one, not so much. But along here, we are going to have that. Honestly, I'm actually happy to get rid of that one at this point. Jezza, I'm good. Just finished work. Now relaxing to an Aavak stream. Oh, I'm not one for April Fools. Honestly, Flunky the Rabbit. I find it funny. And I enjoy looking at the silly tricks and stuff other people do. But I don't know. Playing tricks on people isn't necessarily the first thing that comes to my mind. I don't know. I kind of suck at it. Right, we're going to need oxygen generation in here as well. But we will want... Probably... we'll get an oxidizer at the back. Something like that. And then want maybe a lamp here. Yeah, we'll get a lamp there. And just lots of paintings. I think that should do. We'll also get a sculpture right next to the loop. That should make this place reasonably nice. Let's make sure that this is made as a super duper top priority. Wow, really? You locked Cassandra in there? That's just mean. It's fantastically mean. There's like no air in there, guys. Cassandra's about to die. Cassandra is literally suffocating. She's going to die in there because you've locked her in and she can't get any air. Well done. Massively cruel. You are epic jerks. Epic jerks. My lord. Wow. Doge Ram, never seen this game before. No idea what's going on. Basically, we started off with 3 people and we showed up on like a little asteroid and we're in like a little cave. The name of the game is Oxygen Not Included, and so as you can imagine, having a breathable atmosphere is kind of one of the big things to do, but also having food, also having water. It's a really, really fun little game. I actually massively enjoy it. Let's get some plants down in here as well. Just to spruce the place up a bit. The game kind of simulates physics, simulates fluid dynamics, heat, you know, the different phases of matter and all of that sort of stuff. Really, really well. It's like a big part of it. But it's really derpy as well. Like, for example, different characters will have different like stress responses. Some of them, when they get stressed out, they'll do ugly crying. Others will vomit all over themselves, and then you've got to deal with that. And sometimes the vomit will get in your water supply, and then your water supply is contaminated with vomit, and it's just a lot of shenanigans, basically. We are going to need to make sure that this gets some power, as does this. Martos Prime, Aavak, how did you solve the bacteria problem with purifying water? Well, the issue here is that what I've got is 2 separate water supplies at the moment. This is pure clean water. This is pure clean water, and anything that uses water, in which case, in a way that it's going to matter to them, whether it's clear or not, that just goes to this tank. Over here is what's called grey water. So the polluted water from using the shower or from using the lavatory or the sinks is piped down and then filtered into the water here. Now, technically that does have food poisoning germs on it, but it's only being used in places where food poisoning germs doesn't matter. Like the lavatory. Doesn't matter whether the water that you're using to flush with has food poisoning in it, because you're not drinking out of the toilet bowl, ideally. This isn't Fallout 4. So as a result, it's not a big issue. However, it is kind of odd that also works for the shower, because you kind of would have thought that, yeah, you know, covering yourself in food poisoning germs, not great. But apparently it doesn't hurt. One way you can deal with it, though, is because food poisoning germs don't like living in clean water. They only reproduce in polluted water. When they're in clean water, they die off slowly and they can't reproduce at all. If you also heat that water above 75 degrees, that will start them, that will really aggressively kill the germs off. So you can just warm the water. You don't need to boil it, though that is another way, but if you can just warm it up, it should work. So, there you go. Get that going, and this one as well, please. There we are. Om nom nom. That should qualify as a medbay. Yep, there we are. So, quarantine sick duplicants. Sick duplicants assigned to the medical beds located within a medbay are less likely to spread a disease, and it's very nice to see. Now, I just realised, I've got a manual airlock that prevents the spread of germs, but I'm letting the air out. Never claimed to be a smart man. Let's get that sorted, shall we? Don't worry, Apple Fumble, it'll be alright. Hey, Aavak, you have a gas permeable tile beneath the air block to your medbay. Yes. Yeah, I'm a derp. Thanks, though. There we go. Hopefully the air in here is going to be getting a little bit better. It's not particularly nice, though, right now. Realistically, what we would want is a gas pump. But don't have one. Not yet, anyway. Let's try and sweep this place clean if we can. So that it's a reasonably pleasant place to be. There we are. Liquid vent overpressurized. It's not going to allow this pump to work any harder, which is good. And this is cycle 54. We're not doing too badly. I think, however... Well... Let's have a look at the report. How are we doing for food? Oh. I'm kind of on the edge of it, really. It's not great. We're on the edge of our food production. We're just producing pickled meal lice, which no one particularly likes, but it's something that, you know, isn't awful. That's good enough, I think. Now, this isn't going to be working right now because this place is basically full of... there's way too much pressure in here. We need to let the carbon dioxide out. We got anything that would consume the carbon dioxide? I think we might do, in fact. Carbon skimmer. Well, CO2 is heavier than oxygen, so one thing we could do is this. And every time someone goes in here, we're letting CO2 out as well. But what we could do is just get that away, put a little vent there so that the CO2 is pushed out by the oxygen being flooded in. What on earth just happened there? Why is there liquid everywhere? Poop. No, wait. This is full of germs, isn't it? Yep, this is full of germs. They just broke a pipe that was full of clean water. And the issue here is that that would then get just dumped in there. Okay, so what we're going to have to do, we're going to turn that off completely. Turn that on for all. Oh, wait. Eventually, that water will stop being contaminated. That's massively annoying, I will confess. We'll just bottle it for now, and then eventually move it. Once that water is no longer contaminated, then we'll move it. But for now, on the surface of it, that's interesting. Is it not in it? I don't know. It might not be. At any rate, let's pop down on the airflow tile. Right there. That would do nicely. And we should see that effectively the CO2 gets pushed out down here. Alternatively, we could just have a carbon scrubber down here. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, let's get the carbon skimmer so that we can just stick it down here and just grab the carbon that's in this little area. Generally speaking, this is getting a lot more liquid now than is actually... we're slowly producing more and more liquid over time. Yeah. All of this should work okay. Perfect. However, what isn't perfect is the fact that we are very rapidly running out of algae. And I have not yet got a solution for that problem. That is going to be a very big problem. Because once we run out of algae, all of our algae deoxidizers stop working. And that is going to be super duper bad times for us. We do have the algae distiller, however. Refines slime into algae. The problem is we'd have to go into slime biomes to gather the slime. Take 600 grams of slime, 120 watts of power. It produces polluted water, 400 grams of it, 200 grams of algae, and a bit of heat. Yeah, the algae terrariums they do use algae slower, but the problem is they create negative pressure. They consume more CO2 than they produce oxygen. So over time, the pressure in your base goes down, and it actually goes down reasonably fast. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Basically, I think I need to set this up somewhere here. But the problem is I don't have any kind of plastics to use to this end. Plastic ladder. Oh, maybe textile loom. I don't know. I'm assuming that plastics... how does one make an exosuit? I'm assuming it comes from the polymer press. I'm assuming we need plastics for that. I do not have oil yet. But we're going to start getting to a point where we just simply need to go get it. So there's not much more we can do. I'm going to have to just weather the blow of having a bit of slime in the base. I think what we'll do is we're going to drop down a tile there. We are going to deconstruct the airflow tile here. And the doors on this side. I don't... Yeah, we're going to be putting in actual manual airlocks on this side, basically. We're going to build an algae distiller. Or a few. Over here. Now, the thing with slime lung is slime lung lives in polluted oxygen. So we've got polluted oxygen over here, and as you can see, there's slime lung in it. There's slime lung in there's polluted oxygen in here, but it's mostly there's a decent amount of carbon dioxide. Now, wherever slime lung is, in oxygen it will die. So, although we're going to probably be producing a fair old whack of polluted oxygen around our distiller setup, as long as we purge it as quickly as we can into oxygen, it should be okay. The alternative is to set up an airlock system, as I was describing earlier, that uses automation to push the air out. That doesn't open up the base until it's not actually the way you'd usually use an airlock. In that normally with an airlock, it pressurizes to where you're going. So, for example, you're leaving the base, the doors would open, and the internal airlock, which is now effectively connected to your base, and is open to your base, would be the same pressure as your base, so you don't get sucked into the airlock. You walk in, you close the doors, and if you're going outside, then the airlock would depressurize, or whatever it was going to do, to match the exterior of your base, and then you'd walk out. So again, when the doors open to the exterior, you don't get blown out the airlock by a sudden depressurization. We wouldn't quite do it that way, though. Because we're not worried about pressure, we're worried about germs, which are airborne. The airlock would work in reverse. When you wanted to come into the base, it would always empty the air the other way. It would empty the air out into the outside. I mean, you could hook it up so that when you were trying to leave, it would cycle normally, but when you were trying to come back in, it wouldn't pressurize it. Well, I don't know. Maybe you could just do a regular airlock, actually. But I'm worried that you'd be bringing all of the poison germs in. You could just accept that you're going to blow out atmosphere outside into the slime lung area. You can use liquids to make an airlock. Dupes can walk through a pit of water. Yeah, but they would still be bringing germs on them back in. In a way, what's happening in my head is that I feel that they should come in and sit in an oxygen-rich environment and just have to sit there for like 10 minutes, wait for all of the slime lung germs to die before they can walk in. But that's just not going to work. No. Water locks or vacuum locks are usually the best. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, a vacuum lock, really. Liquid locks seem super cheesy. We could use the chlorine airlock, though. The chlorine airlock design that I discussed earlier. Where you're just constantly pumping chlorine in there so that it pretty much just scorched earths every kind of germ that's there. Your dupe isn't going to enjoy the cycle time on the airlock if they have to stand there in chlorine holding their breath, but they're not going to be bringing Slimeling in with them.